What's up? 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 What's up, people? What's up, people?
What's the word?
What's the word? We are back, and this is a Thursday. Happy Thursday, people. Happy Thursday.
We had to switch up. You
Switch it
don't
up.
know.
Switch it up. Switch it up on y'all cats. Thursday.
Nah,
Straight
nigga.
talk. Straight talk with Fella and Rev. How you doing, Reverend?
Man, I'm gonna tell you the truth, Josh. I was good, but then my phone died, man. So I'm a
Oh,
little down.
you doing a phoneless podcast? Okay.
Yeah, man. I can't
Millennial problems, I tell you.
I can't pull up nothing. I can't see if anybody messing with us. You know what I'm saying? I can't low
Think
key watch the Thunder game.
think
It's
about
rough.
think about back in the old days when they didn't have a phone to entertain themselves. You just
I mean,
ungrateful.
they probably had a what's the little thing with the beads, and you keep shifting them over side to side. They probably play with that in their free time. Sure.
Man, please, man, please. But we gonna get right into the show. Thursday, happy
So
Thursday. This is a Thursday night. Got all the sports going on. Got OKC and New York Knicks
ooh,
going on in the background.
fun fact, real quick. This is, I think, the 17th day, like ever, that four major sports have been on TV the
Yeah,
same night.
I seen that. I seen that.
Big props.
Blah blah blah.
Yeah, man, we got a lot going on tonight.
We got a lot going on. All right, so sorry about that. Okay, so you know how we like to kick it off. Question of the day. Question of the day. What's the question? Yeah, I'm gonna let you go first this time, Rev. Go ahead. What's your question? What you got to ask me? You can't stump me, first of all, but you can try. Go ahead.
Well, I what was I just going to say? Mm. Okay, so season has started up, NBA time. The
Right,
Golden
right,
State Warriors,
right, right.
right? They started up their season the other night with an L, but they started up their season.
Yeah.
Coming off the bench, you got Swaggy P. My boy shot 5 for 6 on threes, and I think 6 for 7 on the game total. He ain't even played the second half. How you feel about him coming off the bench for y'all? What type of impact you expecting from Splashy P?
He started off 5 for 6 and didn't play off and didn't play in the second half.
I don't think he touched the court in the second half. He might
Oh
have
wow,
touched it for a minute and scored them extra 2 points, but he was quick trigger with the three, boy.
that's crazy. Yeah, I seen some of the threes. It was nasty. It was
Mm.
nasty. It was nice. But I mean, as far as what I think about it, I think it's just one game. We're gonna take one game at a time right now. We took the L. That sucked. But as far as Nick Young, I'm not going to be super happy because we first of all we lost, so I'm not gonna be happy about that. And then it's just one game where he went 5 for 6 and he started off 4 for 4, I believe. Um, so just the one game, 4 for 4, great showing. I would like to see it in a win next time, but I'm not sure if that's something that really catches my eye more than anything else. It was definitely a good game. Like I said, he was knocking them down early in the game, but I wasn't too hype about it or too excited about the 5 for 6. It'll be interesting to see if he can keep that up. Obviously, not at that pace, but if he keeps coming up as a strong option for the three, coming off the bench, because we need some shooters off the bench. You got Livingston, who's not a shooter. You got Iguodala, who's not a shooter. Who else you got? And you got some big men. You got Jordan Bell coming off the bench, who's nice. That's the guy that's catching my eye. Jordan Bell, the rookie,
Only
that
thing
we
that caught my
drafted.
eye often
Huh?
he got cooked. The only thing that caught my eye the other day was how often he got cooked.
Yeah,
They was running whoever offense on Jordan Bell. They
yeah.
welcomed him to the NBA.
Yeah. It's a rookie. It's a welcome to the NBA. I understand that. So, but yeah, that's what I'm excited about because we need a big man, and he might mess around and even work his way past Zaza Pachulia, have him starting, JaVale McGee coming off the bench, and that would be something. That would be he would be a problem in that case. I'm sure. But as far as Nick Young, I'm not gonna be too high horse or anything like that. So we'll see. We'll definitely see. But yeah, I'm still excited for this year. Tough loss. What was that? 2 nights ago, and
Mm-hmm.
we just gonna have to keep it pushing and just not kind of. We came up small in the last few minutes of that game, even though we won it technically, but just point second too late.
True. All right. Well, I tell you what, Josh, I'm gonna shock you this week. Doesn't really have much to do with your answer, but because you guys took an L, I'm gonna give you an L as your grade. I'm
Oh
not even
my.
gonna give you a real letter grade. You're gonna get an L. Seeing
Wow.
as I probably will get to do that a total of 10 times this year with your team, because they're honestly they might go 87-0 for real. They're gonna try to break some type of crazy record. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but
Oh my
since I'm
god.
not gonna be able to give you guys L's that many times during the regular season, I'm gonna just
Wow.
give you an L this week
That hurt.
instead of a real grade.
That hurt. I ain't gonna lie to you, Rev. That hurt. But it's okay. It's all right.
I gotta pick my battles, man.
I ain't
See, that don't
gonna.
happen often.
I'm not gonna hold it against you this time. But I'm just letting you know you hurt me on that one. I thought it was a good answer, but I take my. You gotta take an L sometimes. Okay.
Hey,
You gotta take an L sometimes.
ain't spell
Sometimes
life without what? An
L.
L.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You're right.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. Can't spell straight talk with an L either. Can you? Yep. All right. Okay. So I'll take my L. Moving on to your question of the day, and this is more of a not a serious question, but I still want your serious answer. Okay.
Get it.
So I'm sure you saw yesterday. Most of it was 11 NBA games yesterday, and probably the most infamous, if that's what you want to call it, the most infamous game that we saw was between the Portland Trailblazers, and the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns is Charles Barkley. The Phoenix Suns. Yeah.
Josh, get to the point. You big dummy.
But anyway, Phoenix Suns lost to the Portland Trailblazers by 48 points. God, goodness, Jesus, 48 points. That's almost half a century. So, my question to you is, how would you feel if your team, the team that you play for, whether it's Little Leagues, I don't care, if you in the NBA right now and your team lost by 48 points, how would you feel?
Listen, in my best Shaq impersonation, y'all barbecue chicken. Might as well rename yourselves the Phoenix Barbecue Chicken because they got cooked last night. That was horrible. I mean, my morale would be at an all-time low because you got to look at who they got beat by. The getting beat by 48 isn't as shocking to me as it is who they got beat by. They got beat by the Trailblazers, who are a decent team. They're mid-tier as far as playoff teams go. Decent team, but they didn't even have CJ McCollum, their second best scorer.
Oh, wow.
How y'all let a team without their second best player on the floor beat y'all by 48? You have to be making a concentrated effort to be trash.
Yeah.
You just, there's no way. I mean, if you got beat that bad by the Warriors, I'll allow it. They're a super high offensive team, hard to guard, quick, and Phoenix is pretty trash. So I'd give them that. Even if it were the Cavs, they got a lot of firepower. I give them that. But the Blazers, we talking about the Blazers, not the Warriors, not the contenders, the top of the food chain. We talking about the Blazers. I request a trade immediately. Golden State, y'all got another spot on the bench? Because if I'm gonna sit here and not do nothing to contribute, I might as well sit there and not do nothing to contribute and get a W.
Okay.
if they gonna play that bad, Josh, we could be on that squad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If these supposed to be the best athletes in the world. If like that, I want a seat on the bench too. Damn it.
Oh, you cut out. You cut out real bad. What'd you say?
I said if they supposed to be the best athletes in the world and they get paid millions of dollars to get whooped like that, I want a spot on the bench. Y'all ain't got nothing to lose. Because
at
clearly,
this
if that's
at
how we
this
setting
point,
the tone, y'all ain't got nothing to lose.
yeah.
Might as well let me some clock.
Yeah, I'm sure. If I was on the squad, they probably would have lost by 75. So I'm not gonna say that.
I mean, I feel like if I was on the floor, honestly though, they would have lost by uh, about 4-7. I would have made a free throw. Leave.
Your plus minus is one.
Hey, positive.
A week. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna give you a B plus. I'm gonna give you a B plus. And what's stopping you from an A minus is you kind of talk. I feel like you talked a little bit too much about just the game, and the question was, how would you feel? You did answer that kind of, but I feel like you didn't answer. Basically you didn't answer the way I wanted you to answer. So I'm gonna give
Okay,
you I'm
I'm
gonna
out
give
of
you a B
there.
plus.
Send me to the G League team so I can look like a pro.
I'm
Y'all playing like that.
It's the G League right now, by the way. But yeah, I'm gonna give you a B
Jesus.
plus. B plus. That's what you got. You got a B plus. It's better than my L, so be happy. And yeah, we're just gonna move on to the next topic. And the next topic is we're going right back to it. The NBA. NBA's just starting. What it started Tuesday. Had
Uh-huh.
11 games yesterday. We got a handful of games today. Right now, I actually got the, like I said, the Knicks and the OKC game on in the background. Y'all can't hear it. I got the TV on mute, but I'm kind of watching that on the side. NBA and I really wanted to ask my buddy Rev what his thoughts are. We both watched the opening night games, which was Houston at Golden State and Boston at Cleveland. We both
Mhm.
caught those games, so I just wanted to ask my buddy what he thought. What were the thoughts on those games? We're gonna start off with the Cleveland game.
First of all, LeBron James is the biggest liar in the universe.
What did he
I
lie
know
about?
he sat out more. He called himself out of shape. Now, this man dropped. It was 20 something. I don't remember if it was 26 or 29. It was one of those. And a decent amount of rebounds, solid amount of rebounds, and 9 assists. And was looking like an absolute beast. That little spin move coming
Yeah,
down the lane,
yeah,
spin
yeah,
move,
yeah.
weave, fillet, straight to the hole.
Filet.
Like, come on now. Man, you out of shape. I get it. You sat out a few preseason games. Your ankle was a little tweaked. But don't sit here and act like you out of shape. Because if that's what out of shape numbers get you, I'm out of shape, my dude. Like, tell me how to get like that. Because I'm out of shape and I ain't putting up them numbers. So I want to see if this is out of shape LeBron this year. What in shape LeBron gonna look like? 50,
Yeah.
20, and 15?
My take on that is he feel like he can be better. His in shape is something that's really unnatural. That's my take on that. Like if right now he's in the best anybody else's view, he's in the best shape that they can be in. But for him, he takes it to that next level, in which and that's that next level is what makes him great.
Yeah, that's man. I mean, he looked phenomenal the other night, so I can't wait to see what this next level is. I'm waiting for him to go Super Saiyan or something because
I would like to see that.
I can't see how much better he could possibly get.
Yeah.
But on the Celtics side of things, obviously we'll get to it later as far as how their game started off. But to lose their other star player and to have young guys like Tatum and Brown step up, the Celtics played a hell of a game. They stuck in there to the very end. Kyrie had a chance to tie it up at the end and just barely airballed the 3-pointer. Um, so they had a hell of a game to be down an all star. They literally lost an all star.
Yeah.
So major shout out to the Celtics. Just a quick look also, the Celtics lost last night, but it was still a very close game. They lost 108-100 to the Bucks, and Kyrie shot 7 for 25. So if he
Yeah.
can shoot that bad and they can still only lose by 8 points, it's going to take them a minute because they've got a lot of newer players and newer lineups and young guys getting in there. But the Celtics are looking pretty good, so I think they might be able to stay afloat. Um, So yeah, it was a good game. It was nice.
Yeah, I wanted to start off with the Celtics and kind of like, well, you said what you said about the All Star, Gordon Hayward. Yeah, and like I said, or like you said, we're gonna get into that a little more later. But Kyrie, he's not, he hasn't. I'm still waiting on him to take that. I feel like even in that first game, he was. I feel like as the game went on, he was kind of like trying to take that leadership role. But if you to be the guy that he wants to be, that I know he wants to be, he's got to bounce back yesterday, and he's got to win that game against the Bucks.
Yeah,
That they should be able to beat the Bucks. I mean the Bucks might surprise us, and they really might be the number 2 seed in the league. And if that's the case, then okay. But you got to bounce back, and you got to do better than 7 for 25. That's when it was like,
yeah.
oh, well, maybe he ain't taking that step yet. But so now I'm
You could
still
tell
waiting
he
for.
was trying hard.
Yeah,
He was trying too hard. He was thinking too much.
yeah, he was. I mean, yeah, he was at home. Well, he was at home yesterday, right? Hello.
I lost you. You cut out on me. You say he was at home, and then
I said he was at home yesterday, right?
yeah,
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, coming back, I know it's a back to back, but when you're the leader of the team, you got to be the guy that that is consistent, whether it's a back to back or not. So and I know that's the player that he wants to be. So I was
hmm
looking forward to seeing that from him yesterday. He didn't quite do that. Um, but as far as the first game, it was interesting. He was a foot away from knocking down that game. What would it have been the game winning shot? It was a no, it was a game tying shot.
hmm
It was a tying shot, and he was probably a foot away. Nerves probably got to him. Yeah. So it was definitely a great game. Outside of the injury in the first 5 minutes, that was horrifying. But outside of that, it was a great game. Um, what I like to see, Tatum looked really nice, but man, my boy Jalen Brown, this man is 20 years old. I am older than him, and that kind of sucks for me. But I'm older than him.
Oh,
20 years old, and he was balling. Like that was the most impressive performance Tuesday night. And if Gordon Hayward was on the team, I would really feel confident in the Celtics as far as their playoff run this year. If he continues to play like the way he did Tuesday night. But he had 25 points, and he was, man, he was really aggressive early on in that game.
yeah. He
Yeah,
looked good.
he was real aggressive early on in that game, and I really like to see that from somebody that's 20. Oh man, my mic is messing up. But Tatum looked nice in the second half. You could tell that he was nervous coming out in that first half, but still
But you know
going on. Yeah, still
that's
going
a
on.
nerve-wracking experience.
Yeah,
Your first game is against LeBron. You
right.
spend most of the time guarding LeBron or Jake
Somebody you've been
Crowder.
looking up to, probably.
Exactly. You used to playing as him on 2K and looking up to him, and
Yeah, but he bounced back. He bounced back in that second half, and kind of showed a little bit of what he can do. He's got to be a little more aggressive. He was going up soft in the first half,
hmm
and even in the second half, he wasn't really going up strong enough. I feel they were just going in. Um, so, but yeah, as far as that game, and then moving on, it's kind of a long explanation. My bad. Moving on to the second game, Houston versus Golden State. I'll make this one shorter. Just a tough loss for the Golden State. I was actually it was like the last 5 minutes of the game. I figured that they were gonna win it, so I was finna go take a shower. But they kind of just kept letting Houston get into it, and I ended up watching the whole thing, and they just lost it. And they just got to play better in the last quarter or the last 5 minutes of the quarter. They kind of fell off, and I think a big reason had to do with Draymond being hurt, and it kind of just shows you how important of a player that he is. So
yeah, he's overlooked because he's not that big of an offensive threat, but he is the glue for your team.
yeah,
You lose Draymond, you guys still look good for the most part. There are definitely some times when, as a team, the Warriors kind of look lost, or that's when they really start slacking because they lose that voice.
yeah,
They lose that guy that'll get on your head and say, "Hey, man, you gotta get him." you know,
right,
they lose the glue guy. So I would definitely contribute some of your problems down the stretch to losing Draymond. I'll give you that.
yeah.
Um,
Uh, but are you done? You done? Do you got any more else to say?
Oh, I was just gonna say overall, the Warriors are still the well-oiled machine that they've been. You got some Swaggy P was a seamless addition. I mean, he came right in, just cashing them. So I mean, if he's not gonna drop 20 off the bench every night, but just the fact that he looked that good after he hadn't really looked that good in preseason for them, and in training camp he apparently wasn't looking that great. For him to just first game of the night just be swish, 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 looks really good. Um, and then you still got Caspi. JaVale didn't even play. So you guys, I mean, and you didn't have Iguodala. So this isn't gonna, even with all those people missing, you still had a hell of a game, and the Warriors barely lost. If Kevin Durant could have got their shot off just even 0.2 seconds quicker, you guys win that game. So
Yeah,
it was a hell of a game to watch, and it was interesting to see the way that D'Antoni is going to run the backcourt of James Harden and Chris Paul.
yeah,
Very seldomly played together. Um, they only probably played around 15, 20 minutes, it felt like, together.
yeah.
Most of the time,
And honestly,
individually.
I didn't pay too much attention to that. I was doing homework. Yeah, I was doing homework while watching this game. So it was kind of on in the background.
Right.
Really, I wasn't really paying attention to like who was on the court, when, and where. I was just kind of keeping track of the score. And then I watched the last 5 minutes where I felt like they were finna win. Like I've seen so many games like this before. I thought they were gonna win, so I was gonna take a shower, and then next thing you know, they just kind of they just left Houston into the game for too long.
Yeah, they didn't. And like you said, I contribute that to kind of losing Draymond. They didn't have anybody to really be, forcing guys to make shots. A lot of guys on the Rockets had easy shots. Tucker was getting off easy threes. Anderson was getting off threes. Obviously, Chris Paul and Harden are going to do what they do, but mostly Harden because Chris Paul set a lot of the fourth. They were letting the Rockets bench, who is very underrated, looking at them actually play together, they were letting them stay in the game and get over easy shots.
Yeah,
And then Curry kept trying to guard James Harden, and I'm sorry, but it's just not going to work. I don't know why they let Curry guard James so much. Usually the Warriors try to hide Curry's defensive liabilities, but
it's
this
cause
game they kept
it's
forcing
cause
him to do it.
it's cause it's not the playoffs for one, and then for two, this is, I feel like we're really going over time, but this is the last point. Curry was playing good defense. This is a lot of people don't understand. It's the
Good
NBA.
defense, better offense. Really,
Yes,
really.
exactly. Curry was playing very good defense. Well, the two clips that I seen that were like, people were saying like Curry getting cooked as usual. So whatever they were saying. The two plays that I
Yeah,
seen, Curry's playing good defense, but James Harden is probably one of the, if not the top scorer in the NBA right now. If
yeah.
he can't make a shot while somebody's playing good defense, then he wouldn't be who he is right now. So it's not like Curry wasn't getting cooked. I mean, Curry was getting cooked in the sense that Harden is just that good. But Curry's
Yeah,
not getting cooked in the sense of he can't play defense. Curry was playing amazing defense. And a better defense than a lot of people could play in a situation. The way Harden was dribbling that, uh, the way Harden was dribbling the ball, Curry was playing really good defense, and he still had a hand in his face, jumped, but I mean he made the shot. There's nothing you can do. In the NBA, you could play the best defense of your life, and they'll still make the shots. That's just because it's the NBA.
fair enough.
Yeah. So, but we're just gonna move on. That was 2 nights ago. We're gonna move on. We were supposed to be talking about the games yesterday, but I'm actually just cross that out, and we're just gonna talk about the games today. So, like I said, I've been watching the Knicks. I think it's the third time I'm saying this. Watching the Knicks in the
Yeah, just
Knicks,
rub it in my face, why don't you?
the Knicks, the Knicks in OKC right now. So, yeah. So I just wanted we were going to talk about the some of the stuff about as far as this game right now. It's actually a close game. Last time I saw it was 40. It was tied at 40. So it's a close game right now. Like I haven't really been able to see what's going on. But so what were your thoughts on this game and maybe even the outlook of the OKC?
Well, Josh, I don't really have any thoughts on this game because I can't watch it. Um, but right now it is 46-42,
Okay, yeah,
leaning towards OKC. This is obviously a big game for Carmelo. Carmelo obviously wants to play well against the Knicks. He said he kind of wants to just close that chapter. So obviously, realistically, he ain't gonna come out and say it. And I haven't been able to watch the game to see if they're drawing up the plays for it. But I feel like he wish he could play against them the way KD played against us when he came back last year.
Yeah.
Although very different situations, I bet that Melo wishes he could go off for like 60 on the Knicks just because. Um,
Right.
so I definitely wish I was able to watch this game. But I would say just one of the things, not only for this game, but just in general, I think Melo is the big piece. Paul George has shown that he can play off the ball. Melo has too in the Olympics, but we just haven't gotten to see these three together enough to know if they can. They are very much ISO players, very ball dominant players because all three of them have been used to being the best player on teams that for the most part would be mediocre without them, or at best mediocre realistically. So I think Melo definitely, even just playing mediocre defense, I'm not expecting him to be a stopper. It's not him, and he's getting up there in age, so he's not going to all of a sudden turn into Kawhi. But being a decent defensive player to match up with, the intensity on defense that Russ, Roberson, and George will bring, he just has to be decent to keep up with that. And then also continuing his rebounding habits. Now Russell doesn't have to grab the rebound and push the fast break to score because now he can do the driving kick offense similar to Cleveland and other teams. So just Melo stepping up on the defensive end, uh, keeping his efficiency together with taking high quality shots, and we got to keep the ball moving. And then, all three of them have been ball stoppers. So I think just keeping the ball moving, avoiding too much ISO, and avoiding bad shots, I think we're going to be good. It's going to take us a minute to figure it out, but I think we'll be good.
Okay. Yeah, and then as far as I let you do the OKC, and I was gonna pick out somebody for the Knicks, and the guy that I really am excited to see is the young rookie that they drafted. It was early in the draft, Frank
Frank,
Ntilikina.
yeah, I'll be kind of
Um,
looking into
so
it. I don't know.
yeah, and I've seen him in the game. I don't even think he's starting this year, but I'm excited to see. He's supposed to be a nice little point guard, so I would like to see what he's like. He averaged. He's young. He's only 19. He averaged because he played overseas last year.
He's young.
He
He's young, so young.
Yeah, so young, like this young. But he he averaged 5 points in the overseas league, and obviously he, like I said, he's 19, so he's still young. Um, he does have a over there. He had a good 3 point percentage, so that would be interesting to see. Even though I'm pretty sure the 3 point line is a little bit shorter than ours here in the NBA. But outside of him, the other player that who's probably going to have to really step up to for this team is obviously the unicorn, Porzingis, Kristaps. Last year he averaged 18 and 7 rebounds. So I would like to see him this year, and for them to maybe, obviously, I don't think they're a playoff team. But just as far as him, and maybe they could be a playoff team. But as far as him improving, I would like to see him start to average a double double. Get the points per game up to like 20, 22, 23. I think that should be easy, pretty easy with Melo leaving the team. So he's gonna get a lot of touches, and
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see him improve his 3 point percentage. Actually, I think last year it was below 30. It was below 40%. To see him get that 3 point percentage up to 40, I feel like that's going to be the difference between him being an 18 point player per game and a 25 point player per game. So if he's able to do that, that would be nice to see. So Porzingis, and then the Knicks got some other players, Beasley, who actually just left the game hurt. I did see that, twisted his
Hardaway
ankle.
Jr.
Huh?
Don't forget about Hardaway Jr. too.
Yeah,
He's
Hardaway Jr. is coming back. He he did his best when he was in New York, so it'd be nice to see if if he's able to do something, even though he just had a horrible dump pass. And OKC is pulling away. It's 53-42 right now, and they're just going into halftime.
I like that.
Yeah,
I
but
like to hear.
moving on to the next game, the game that is later tonight, it's going to be between the LA Lakers, Lake Town, and the
Like
LA Clippers. So obviously it's in the Staples Center. And to start it off, the Clippers, who are, I believe they're going to be the home team technically. Um, and the
no,
player
it's
that Yeah, the
I
player
think
that say it again.
I think it's Lakers tonight is the home team.
Oh, it's Lakers the
No
home team.
team. But
Oh,
yeah.
okay. You kind of cutting out, but I heard you. So yeah, the player that I kind of like always highlight, and I am really critical of this player, Blake Griffin, and I he's finally starting off the season pretty healthy. He's starting. He's supposed to be starting. He's had some obviously over the last 2 years had injuries that kind of held him back. But this year he's fairly healthy. I think they
Mhm.
said something was wrong with he was having he was a part of the injury report, but he was still expected to play today. And kind of the thing that I wanted to speak about as far as Blake Griffin is, first of all, I don't believe he will ever be a centerpiece of a team, or he definitely won't be a player that leads his team, or he's not great enough to lead his team to really a deep run into the playoffs. But as far as seeing him going back kind of to when he was a decent All Star, and people were still kind of considering back in his 2014 season, he averaged 24 points per game, and I think it was like nine rebounds a game or something like that. And the big difference for me between then and this past season where he only averaged 21, so he went up or he went down from 24 to 21. Is the 3 point attempts. He needs to just give up this whole big man got to be able to shoot threes. He cannot shoot. He can't shoot threes, so just stop. The difference
Mm.
is in 2014, that 2014 season where he averaged 24 points per game, he only shot 44 threes for the entire season. Only 44. In this past season, he that went up to 113 threes in only 60 games, 61 games or something like that. In the season where he averaged 24, he had 80 games with only 44 threes. So about a three every other game. And kind of the point difference comes from it might also come from where he's got one more assist per game this past season. But it really I just think it speaks a lot to the fact that the as little he last season he shot almost two threes a game. And I just feel like that's not his game. He just needs to be that guy, pick and roll, drive to the basket, fast break. He can go coast to coast, not like unlike many others. He can do somebody his size. He can go coast to coast. He can carry the ball for a fast break. He needs to just stick to that and just stop trying to expand his game to the 3 point line. I understand he tried. They gotta expand it because they got DeAndre Jordan on the court as well. But I
Yeah.
just feel like he if that's the case, you just need to have them not on the floor at the same time. Simple. And just stop putting him at the 3 point line because that's not his game. So that's just my
Mhm.
thought on, and maybe that's how they. I mean, they're probably a playoff team this year. I like I said, I don't think they're gonna make a deep run in the playoffs. Not with Blake Griffin being the best player on the team, but I would like to see him. He could get back to 25 points per game.
I don't see any reason he shouldn't. Um, I think if anything, kind of just to capitalize off of what you were saying, I think what holds Blake back a lot of times, especially it will now that he's, Otis on his own as the sole superstar on that team. He tries to do too much.
Yeah,
Blake can create for himself, but sometimes he just tries to do too much. And we get it. You're a big man with speed. You got to handle like a guard at times, but that's not what we expect you to do. Therefore, you don't have to do it all the time. We know you can. We're not sleep on the fact that you can. So stop. I don't know if he's trying to prove himself or what. But anyway, as far as Lake Show goes, I think aside from the obvious, like Lonzo, everybody expects him to have a decent game. Hope he has a decent game. But to me, that's not really who it comes down to. I think that with the Lakers, it comes down to the slackers, and the slackers are Ingram. And I don't mean slacking as far as work ethic by any means. I don't disrespect the work and time these guys put in, but the slackers are Ingram and Randall. They both have all the potential in the world to be great young guys, absolute studs, but they are so inconsistent. It's crazy. Lonzo outcut him some slack. He is still relatively new to this. Ingram played a full year. He's not like Phillies guys. He doesn't redshirt. He played last year. Randall has been in the league for 2 or 3 years,
Yeah.
maybe more. I know he sat out one full year, but he's played enough games by now that he shouldn't be still inconsistent.
Nah.
Um,
No, don't sleep on Randall. I can't let you do that to Julius Randall. He's still young. Give him some time. Big men take longer to
young.
get ready in the NBA longer than it takes longer for big men to get ready or to be good in the NBA than it does a smaller guard. Julius Randle's gonna be a beast eventually. He's
I
still
just hate to
and he sat out his entire rookie season. So last season was technically his first season.
No, it wasn't. It was the year before that, I thought.
Was it? Let me
Yeah,
look it up. I'm look it up.
because he was playing. He got drafted the year before Kobe's last year, I think. So he had the full season with Kobe, and then the full season last year without Kobe. Sure, he got drafted the year before Kobe's last year.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're right. So
Yeah.
this is his third season. Okay, my bad.
So I'm just saying, with that in mind, I know he got time to develop. I know he's still relatively young. It just to see somebody oozing with that much potential, got nice size, he's strong as hell, he's got decent speed to him. To see somebody with those physical gifts and not to be at least consistent, like there's some games he looks really good, and there's some games like, what were you doing tonight? Where were you at? So just for him to at least be mediocre, if you can be mediocre, that's fine by me. That's a step up from super high and super low the next game. And then right along there is Brandon Ingram. I feel like he works hard all the time. I've seen him, obviously not personally, but I see that he puts in work. He is very dedicated to trying to get his body together, polish his game some more. But I think what hurt him, just like what hurts many rookies, is this whole outlook of look at their ceiling and look at their comparisons and look what they could be. And then you sit there waiting for them to develop, and you're like, okay, well, he's not doing anything. And I think to go along with that, also there's Contavious Caldwell Pope, who is a new addition to them, and he's had decent games, but there's low numbers across the board. Like he'll put up like 5, 3, and 2 or something like that. I mean, yeah, okay, you're contributing, but I was hoping that he would make more of a scoring impact, at least 10. So for me, it's realistically everybody but Lonzo. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. It's his first game, and he'll be playing against Patrick Beverly, who is pesky and annoying on defense. So obviously, it's gonna be hard for him to get in good scores unless his shot is just dropping tonight, left and right. So I'm gonna let Lonzo slide. But for me, it's mostly the other guys in the starting five.
Yeah. But all right. Did you want to make a pick on that game tonight?
Um, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and go Lakers. I'm gonna go Lakers.
Okay. All right.
I
You
think they're
opening
gonna
night
shock
win.
us. Yeah, I mean, last year they started off real nice the first couple weeks, and then injuries left and right derailed them. Not that they were going anywhere, but they looked nice. So I think the Lakers could shock us. They beat the Clippers like a week ago in preseason, and they looked pretty good doing it. So I
Yeah.
think they could shock us and get the upset tonight, which
Okay.
isn't really an upset because nobody wants the Clippers to win. But
Right. Yeah. I like to see the Lakers win as well, so I'll pick the Lakers. But all right. On to the sad topic. You wanna break to our? It's not even news. You just want to talk about the sad topic. I don't even want to talk about it.
yeah, man. I mean, people talking about him like he's dead, but Gordon Hayward is more than likely done for this season.
No, not more than likely. Don't fall into the reports. He's done. He's done for the season.
I mean, you like to be cautiously optimistic because they talk about how it was a clean break as far as his leg. So I would say that it's one of those situations like when Kevin Durant got injured 2015. More than likely, he was absolutely done. But there was still the possibility, as the Thunder were kind of hanging in there, that, hey, if they make postseason, he could be ready to play a few minutes. So if the Celtics can kind of hang on and rehab is good, well, it's possible. Or kind of like Paul George when he came back from his injury. He was done that whole season. But towards the end there, got in a few games, but he went ahead and sat him out. So I feel like in the same way, it is possible for Gordon Hayward to maybe towards the last leg of the season be in a position where he could play, but more than likely they won't because, whatever, especially depending on what the playoff standings will look like, we're not going to force the issue. Um, so anyway, yeah, Gordon Hayward is 98.9% done in an unfortunate turn of events. They were looking really good this year. Everybody was looking forward to seeing how they would do. So that is cool. And then there's also Jeremy Lin, who last night landed awkwardly and tore something.
Torres patella tendon.
Patella? Yeah. Yeah, and he immediately knew something was because I watched him go down and he immediately started grabbing his knee and he was saying, I'm done, I'm done,
Yeah.
I'm done. And he started crying. So that was really hard to watch because his wasn't so much as graphic, but just seeing the emotion, it was like, dang, like to land and know immediately that wasn't right.
Yeah.
I'm out.
And
Like
that
it was horrible to see.
yeah, that's the I believe that's the same injury that I don't know if you remember Victor Cruz. The patella tendon, torn patella tendon. That's the same injury Victor Cruz had, and he ended up missing that. After that injury, he missed a full 2 seasons. He missed the end of the one that he was in, the next season, and the next season, and then didn't come back until basically 3 seasons later.
Jeez.
So yeah, that's a real rough injury. That's actually the same injury my brother had. And speaking of my brother, and it actually has to do with this topic.
Mm-hmm.
This was his logic, and I feel like it was I didn't necessarily like it. So he said you got three gruesome injuries. You got the three major gruesome injuries in basketball over the last. You could you name them? At least you could name at least two of them.
If we talking about NBA,
Yeah, basketball.
ooh. Well, because when I think basketball, I think of Kevin Ware too. You can never
Exactly.
forget
That's one
Kevin
of them.
Ware.
That's one.
Kevin Ware. I think Kevin Ware. I got like four. I think Kevin Ware, Paul George, Gordon Hayward's wasn't horrible, but it still just looked horrible. And I heard a snapping noise watching it.
Yeah.
And then I also think Sean Livingston.
Yeah. Okay. So that Sean Livingston is a little
Andrew
further.
Bogut too. Wasn't Andrew Bogut nasty?
Yeah,
Those are a
it
little older.
was. It was.
Those are older.
Yeah,
But
those are older ones. So we talking. You
those
named
are
the
ones
three.
that always come to my mind.
Yeah, you named the three that he spoke about. Okay, so
Oof.
he said he said it's stupid. He said Kevin Ware played. All right, when Kevin Ware had that injury, that it was the final four. It was I forget who it was against, but it was in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Okay, Paul George played first his first until this season basically. He's been playing in the NBA. He played in what city? Indianapolis. and then Gordon Hayward went to Butler. And what city is Butler in? Indianapolis. So he was like, basically, at the end of the day, don't play
away from
in
Indianapolis.
Indianapolis. And I was like, oh my god, that was stupid. And all the reason I didn't like it because he said that you don't play if you have a strong affiliation in Philly or not Philly. Indianapolis. He said don't play. And I was like, Kevin Ware doesn't have a strong affiliation to Indianapolis. He just played one game in Indianapolis and he had that horrific injury. So that's why I didn't like it. But you be the judge. What you think?
Hey man, listen, realistically, if that's the case, we can go Indianapolis and we can also go Chicago.
Yeah. Oh no, that don't count. No. That's just one play.
Derrick Rose and then Jabari Parker. Yeah, Jabari done had 2 ACLs now.
Yeah.
Or MCL, ACL. Yeah, him
No,
and D Rose on the same path.
But that's Simeon. Then that's Simeon. That's the high school they went to.
Simeon.
Simeon.
So
Yeah.
Simeon or the town of Indianapolis. Period. If you're a major baller with a bright future, just you're clear.
Ouch. Okay. Oh yeah, I still think it's stupid, Trey. I quoted you on it, so it's not I'm not stealing it. But yeah, so and then that you got the two injuries in the NBA, and we kind of touched earlier in the NFL. You had J.J. Watt go down. You had Aaron Rodgers go down. They just said Andrew Luck might miss the rest of the season. It's a bunch of injuries going on. and
Yeah,
it
man.
really sucks. And it's a lot of it is like the best players in each respective league, and that's what's the. I mean, obviously not Jeremy Lin, but
I was gonna say, yeah, well, Jeremy. Yeah.
yeah, but Gordon
But yeah,
Hayward,
that's what's
he's an
important.
all star.
He's an all-star, and he was a big part of them potentially being good.
Yeah,
But I think the Celtics realized even if they got far, they probably weren't beating Cleveland anyway. And I think Danny is definitely banking on LeBron leaving. So realistically, I think he's happy he's got Gordon. You know what? Gordon's out for the year. That lowers where our ceiling was, but that's fine. Hopefully, LeBron gets out of here next June, and you'll be back. You'll be healthy, hopefully fully recovered. We might be able to grab somebody else in free agency or pull out some other type of crazy trade. And next year we'll be ready to be the reigning team in the East.
yeah,
I think the Celtics are still pacing themselves. They were hoping to have a really good year this year, but they still pacing themselves. They know that this might be their conference next year if all goes according to speculation and plan.
yep.
So
All right, so we're done with the NBA. That was long. That was lengthy, and we're just gonna do a couple small, quick stuff in the other two leagues that we've been talking about, the NFL and baseball, the major two leagues. Did you want to do something on hockey?
we not here,
Weak.
talk
Okay.
about no hockey.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
Lady into you, boy.
Yeah. So moving on to the NFL, we're just gonna do a couple picks. We like to pick out a couple games, and you know, just pick a winner. There's not really any incentive to picking a winner, but you just see what you thought. So first off, we got the Super Bowl rematch. Seems like they have one of these every year. They got the Super Bowl rematch. Atlanta at New England, and it's typically at the team that won the Super Bowl. So Atlanta at New England. Who you got?
I'm gonna go Atlanta.
ATL.
Yeah, I usually don't bet against Brady, but I think that they're gonna come out really hoping to make this a statement game and show that yeah, we know we blew the 28-3 lead or whatever it was, but we showed that we can compete with these guys, and if given the chance again, we will beat them. So I
Yeah.
think they're gonna come out with a chip on their shoulder, looking to prove something, looking to silence on Joe. We can beat this team, and we almost did. So I think they're gonna, try to show the hair on their chest and flex up a little bit
Okay.
and play really good.
Yeah. I'm gonna actually kind of go against the grain as well and go with Brady and the Patriots. Um, Atlanta hasn't been looking that good, and New England's just consistent all year. So, and, I mean, New England really hasn't been looking that good either, but they did get that win last week against the Jets, in their home. So I'm gonna go with New England. If this were the Super Bowl again, I would be going with Atlanta, but this is a regular season game. Atlanta hasn't been looking good, or looking as well as they did last year, to this point. So I'm going New England on that one. But moving on to the game that's actually going on right now as well. Like you said earlier, all these sports are going on at the same time. KC at Oklahoma. KC at Oakland. Chiefs versus the Raiders. Who you got?
Rocking Chiefs. The Raiders aren't living up to my bandwagon like hopes. Chiefs are doing pretty good. And you already know who I'm rocking with. I told you. Taylor was repping the Chiefs in middle school and high school. So I'm repping the Chiefs every day. If you bring up Kansas City, you know how we rocking, man. You done know.
Jeez.
You already know how we
You
rocking.
gotta stop with this accent. Oh my god. Okay.
Guns won't stop nothing.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the. I'm gonna go with Oakland, man. I need to see them bounce back. They've been taking a minute to bounce back. Chiefs already got a hot start. They can slow up a little. I'm going with Oakland. We're going with the Raiders. Derek Carr, who I got starting. Ooh, I got to start him on my fantasy league. He needs the ball, man. I'm tired. I'm tired of you not balling. You in my starting lineup this week. Ball out, please. I need you. All right. I'm done with that. Moving on to the next game, last game that we're gonna talk about in the NFL is the Arizona Cardinals and the Los Angeles Rams. Ooh, I'm just messing up all the names. Cardinals versus the Rams. Who you got, Brev?
Man, just like it's baseball season. I'm rocking cards, and I genuinely, honestly, don't really care who wins this game. But Peterson looked very good the other day with the
Yes.
Cardinals. In his first game with the Cardinals, he put up more numbers than he did in 4 games with the Saints. He put
Yeah.
up
Yeah.
130 some yards and 2 TDs.
Yeah. Talk about that. Did that? I know we talked about it a little last week. Was that Were you happy for him, or what did you think? What about the Saints? What do you think about that?
I was happy for him because I felt like mutually the Saints and himself were trapped in a situation where it was like, dang, son, like, say it's this girl, right, and she bad. You like, oh yeah, I'm about to bag that for sure. Y'all get together and realize y'all both trash. Like we were better
both,
on our own.
y'all both immature. You need somebody. You need somebody to balance it out.
Needed somebody to balance it out, and then y'all finally like, you know what? I'm gonna chuck the deuce. I'm out of here. And then you pick up another chick, and you like, man, see, this is back to me. I'm doing
Yes.
me. I'm living life. That's how Peterson is looking right now.
One man's
He was
trash
coming
is
up.
another man's treasure. Yeah.
Exactly. The Saints weren't really appreciating his talents, right? Um, so I'm glad that the Cardinals were able to pick him up and immediately make him effective, and he proved that the other day.
Yeah. So you going with Arizona? I'm gonna go. Ooh. Yeah. If Peterson plays like that again, it's gonna probably be Arizona.
Right.
Yeah. I guess I can go with Arizona. Yeah. Nah, I'm gonna go with the Rams. I'm gonna go with the Rams. I can't side with you twice in 1 week, so I'm gonna go with the Rams. They're still my guys. Gurley has been doing pretty well. He's been showing out. I haven't even seen any of their games for real so far this year. I want to catch at least a couple of them. But speaking of Gurley, he was in the news today actually. And by the way, this game, Arizona versus the Cardinal, or sorry, Arizona versus the Rams, is going to be in London. So he's at practice in Florida. So I think they're practicing in Florida before they fly out to London. And his thoughts on the overseas games or he said Mexico City in London. So he's talking about any international game that the NFL has been pushing within the last five or so years. He says they're terrible. He just feels like it messes up the schedule. He don't like it. What are your thoughts on it? Do you feel like they're kind of pushing the over our international football thing too hard, and it's kind of a pain for the scheduling, or pain for the players as far as what they got going on in their lives?
I think, being that he is a football player, I kind of agree with him because NFL style, American style football doesn't have the same global reach as basketball does. That's the immediate league that you think of when you think global games. The NBA can have a global game and have sold out arenas and plenty of attendance because NBA is global. Basketball is global. And those guys enjoy being able to do that stuff. And they, spend when they do global games, they spend several days there, so they get to kind of stretch that out a little bit. Whereas, I mean, his team is based in LA. You say they practice in Florida and then they're going to England.
Yeah,
First of all, talk about jet lag.
right.
And then second of all, I'm sure it's just not really like, what do we really get out of it going overseas or going to Mexico City or stuff like that? Sure, I'm sure the people there might enjoy it to a degree, but I don't really feel like it has as much impact or as much help on the NFL as it does to the NBA. So I can kind of understand it. I
Yeah,
mean, and like I said, to my knowledge, they don't get to do it the way the NBA does, where they go to China, say Monday, and don't have the game until Thursday, and then they leave and go back to America like Saturday. They get
right.
time to kind of enjoy the experience of the town, do some community service things, hang out, enjoy, and then their game and go home.
Yeah, and for
It,
granted,
it seems like they're going to be doing a lot.
they could possibly do that. They do have as Darius saying that the NFL international games are trash. Yeah, true, true. I don't know if you can see that, but she
I
said
don't see
that.
the point.
She said that in the chat room. We appreciate the the comments. Appreciate it. Everybody should start doing that. But
Yeah.
actually, they do get the next week. So the week after this week is a bye week. So they
Okay.
technically have some time off, but it's still for this week. You had a game last week. It's still probably a pain preparing for this week. Um, and it's not
Yeah.
like you said. It's practice. It's Thursday. If they're in Florida Thursday, they're probably going to be flying out tomorrow or be getting there tomorrow, and they only have 2 days to kind of like recuperate from jet lag. So, I do definitely agree that the international games are. It's just NFL just tries too hard, man. They just be missing. They swing for home runs every time, and sometimes they just be striking out, and it's just like I don't know, man. NFL is no fun league. We all know, but we're gonna
Tell him
keep
like
that.
Jordan.
Say it again.
Stop it. Tell him like Jordan used to say, bro. Stop it.
Yeah, just stop.
Yeah,
But
they just they're trying hard. It's not working out.
yeah. But we're gonna move on to the next topic. We done. I think that was a much shorter for the NFL. We don't give much love to the NFL. No fun league. You give a lot of love to basketball. We both love basketball. Probably. I
Really,
know it's. I
no
know it's. I know
love
it's
to the
Revs.
MLB. Then.
Say it again.
I said we really about to show no love to the MLB then, because it's only two,
Yeah.
two, uh,
It's the. I
two
mean,
series.
yeah. It's the playoffs. So it's not too many things going on. There is a lot to talk about, but we don't really like to talk about it. I don't really watch. If it's not the Cardinals, I don't really watch it. And even though I might switch over to the game that's going on right now in MLB, which is the Dodgers and the Cubs. They're playing, and
Fingers crossed.
yeah, yeah. Let me actually, I'm finna look up and see what's the score to that game.
Cubs are.
You cutting out real bad when I go
The
to
Cubs are up 3-0.
3-0. Okay, Cubs are up three
I'm just
zip.
kidding. I don't know that whatsoever, but I'm hoping they are.
Oh my God, why did you? I already exited out. Okay, stick with us. Stick with us.
Huh?
We apologize. Got to get the
Yeah.
score.
Anybody that's listening, we're not doing our usual setup. We kind of had to improvise because I'll be out of town this weekend while Josh will likely be in town. So we had to use a different type of setup just to hurry up and get a show out because we didn't want to go 2 weeks in the same month without a show. So
Yeah,
bear with me.
yeah. Okay, brace yourself. brace yourself, Romero. Cause this series is over.
Oh,
I'm so excited.
Oh my God.
Oh, back to your 100-year drought of no World Series. The score. Oh, we should have just. I should have just looked in the chat. My bad, Daria. I'm sorry. She said it. Dodgers are winning 9-1. So this is
Oh my God.
that series is a wrap. It
Rip.
is over. Dodgers are going to the World Series, barring immaculate comeback. And if the Cubs come back from this, I will start rooting for the Cubs. Okay,
Ripperoni.
I'll root for the Cubs. But yeah, this series is a wrap.
Jesus
So
Christ. Oh, 9-1.
yeah, yeah,
What
and
inning?
so we know that series is over. So let's just go ahead and mosey on to the other series that I feel like is still probably going to be a game 7. Houston and New York. New York, what you think?
Fox, big Fox on. Listen. All right, so boom. New York is up 3-2 in the series. Yesterday they had a 5-0 win. Some dudes was hitting some bombers in the field. So, Yankee Stadium is notoriously kind of hard to play at. So I guess we'll see how they do in Houston. But I'm hoping that Deadeyes. I'm hoping they close it out tomorrow. I'm hoping they close it out so I can bust out my bubble coat and my New York fitted cap with my Tims with the jabos with the crease. Yeah, let them clutch this, and then let them whoop the Dodgers in 4. And hey, it's gonna be miraculous, immaculate.
Okay.
New York gonna go crazy.
All right, I'm gonna say that I don't want, like I said, I'm sticking with my guns, just sticking with my pick. Houston, Um, I don't think they're going. I think it's gonna go to Game 7. They're back in Houston round. So they won the first two games in Houston. I think they. I think it might just be one of those series where all the home teams win. Sometimes that happens, and I think they're gonna at least force a Game 7. I believe. Oh, okay. Sorry, Google Home.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think Houston is gonna take this Game 6, force a Game 7, and then that's when it's gonna be a coin toss. But uh, but yeah, that's basically all we have for baseball. We're sorry for all the baseball fans. If you like baseball, we apologize. We might do a
Yep.
little more about talking. I gotta force Romero to pay attention to the off season stuff, and now I'll have some off season stuff as far as the
Cause
Cardinals.
we not in for the off season.
I'll have some stuff for the Cardinals in off season. But right now, it's nothing to really talk about with the Cardinals because they doing the same thing I'm doing, and that's sitting at home watching TV. Life's passing you
Sure.
by. You know what you should do? Maybe next time I'm gonna call Everett. No, you call him right now. Call
I
Everett.
was just
Pick up
gonna
the
say.
phone. That's what they doing. They sitting at
I
home.
was just gonna do that, bro.
they go they gone fishing. They gone they enjoying their vacation. But
Right now, that's where we need Ern Duck and them for the
right.
graphics. We need Underdog to put up a graphic of the Cardinals going fishing.
Underdog, put that on the t-shirt. Oh man, I love that show. I love Inside the NBA on TNT. But
Oh, they on TNT tonight? Oh
yeah, they on
yeah.
TNT tonight. Oh,
I
but
can't wait to
okay. So that's all we had today. You know, we are. I'm gonna ask my buddy Rev. We are at an hour and 30 minutes on the stream. I think you
we
want to
really?
subtract 2 minutes. Cause we started it and we're just kind of silent for a minute. So do you want to do the speaking or shouting today, or do you want to leave it?
Oh
Cut
no, baby.
cut the episode short. You want? Are we doing it for show?
Yeah, just get rid of it. We had an hour and 30?
No. Hour and three. Did I say
Three.
30?
I thought you
My
said an
fault.
hour and 30. I
No.
think you did. That's why I was like, what?
No. We had hours. So we really this is the same amount of time all our
I was
shows
going to
are
say,
for
you
the
can
most
end
part.
it right now.
Yeah. Do you want to do the
I
speaking
mean,
or something?
do you have something you want to speak or shout about?
Uh, not necessarily. I could if you want to do it, I can do it.
I mean, hey, if you want to be my guest.
Okay. So we gonna make you. I'm gonna make you go first then, cause I still gotta think of something. Um.
Oh,
so
oh
you
no.
speak? Are you speaking to Sheldon today? What's going on? It's Thursday, October the 19th, 2017. Rev, are you speaking or are you shouting?
Actually, you know what I'm gonna shout about, man? Real talk. Listen, all right, so boom. So your boy been, let me see, what's today is the 19th. Low key, I've been a little sickly since the 5th, and your boy is still coughing and chucking up mucus.
Ugh.
It's been 2 weeks. Why, God, am I still sick? I ain't been doing nothing wrong. I ain't been sinning. I've been in church every week, praising the Lord. I've been eating my vitamins. I've been eating my vegetables. I've been drinking water. I'm I'm at a loss for words, man. And I'm trying to go out tonight. Your boy trying to get live. In about 2 hours, I'm trying to be on Main Street. You know what I'm saying? Getting slizzard. So I'm tired of being sick. Okay, I'm tired of it. I'm tired. Okay, tomorrow's my birthday, man. I'm trying to get drunk tonight and enjoy my day tomorrow. I'm over here. I'm gonna be in the club lit live, like, oh yeah, and then I'm gonna turn right around. Yeah, we live. Excuse me, baby. Let me clear my throat, baby. As I was saying, what you trying to do tonight? Like
Oh my
which
god.
of course that wouldn't be me because I'm a faithful black man. You know what I'm saying? Faithful black man of America.
Oh
But
my
yeah, man, that's
god.
all I'm shouting about. I'm tired of being sick, dog. Like, I don't, you done know, okay? Like, do I have? Does mine have cancer or something? Like, I'm tired of being sick, man. I'm finna start crying about it because it hurt my feelings, low key. Tired of people looking at me like, why you coughing like that? Cause I'm sick. Like, my immune system is down. That's all I got to say.
Okay. Yeah, you took my shout, and I was gonna shout happy birthday. But I mean, I wasn't gonna shout that to you. I was gonna say happy October 20th day, but I can't do that because you already took it. But and it's not the 20th yet anyway, so I'll just wait until midnight. But I am going to speak and just kind of let it be known to my friend, not really the world, but I'm just letting my buddy know that a couple weeks ago, I I've been working. Right now I'm in broadcast two. So took broadcast one last semester, broadcast two this semester, and we've been working, we've been grinding, or I've been grinding, not we. And just building my way up, building my skills up, my journalism skills, as far as being a broadcaster or TV reporter, which is not really what I want to do. And so up until this point, I've been doing just kind of like stories or stories for the class. So I would have to like find a story, pitch the story, and basically complete it and edit it and do all that stuff. But now, recently, so in B2, we work up our way into the news station, KOMU news station here in Columbia, which is the main local station, one of the main local stations here. And I just recently got cleared to work at KOMU. So I'm gonna be on KOMU. Here in the next few weeks, I probably going to do my first shift next week. So be on the lookout. KMU, go check the website. Obviously, most people are probably not in the local area, so check the news page. You might see a couple of my stories on there. I'm gonna be working. I might be on live TV, so that's exciting. So yeah, I just wanted to let that be known to my buddy Rev. I don't know. Did I tell you that already?
Nation, voice on it.
Are you listening?
I
You
think you
listening?
mentioned it. I think you mentioned it.
Okay.
But that's what's up, bro.
Yeah.
Shout out to you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Just
be on the news here next semester, so we both gonna be
true. Yeah. Next
on
semester. Yeah. Next semester, I'm going to be on the news like all the time. So, cause we got B3 or broadcast 3. That's when you start off the semester. You're doing live shots and you're doing stories the whole semester. So we just gonna both be on the news. I'm gonna be on the news the whole semester. You're gonna definitely see me then. You might not see me at the end of this semester, but you'll definitely see me next semester.
Oh yeah. Shouts out Shouts out my boy Josh, everybody. Shouts
Big
out
moves,
fella.
big moves,
Oh,
big moves. Yeah, we both making big
we
moves. Shout out
making
to
money.
my boy Rev been on TV at his little local TV station or his campus TV station. So shouts out to you for that. Like you said, you gonna be on the news. You know what I'm saying? You need to be interviewing Ring Knot or something like that. Did you get that interview?
Man, actually, I'm kind of disappointed. I tried to set up an interview with the guy who is a journalist for the Oklahoma City Thunder. I follow him on Instagram at Sneaker Reporter. Go check him out. He's got some nice content because he gets up close and personal. He be at the practices and everything. So I was trying to set up an interview with him since I will be in Oklahoma City this weekend. Unfortunately, I couldn't be there
Ah,
tonight because I really wanted to go to the game, but he hasn't gotten back to me. And I'm leaving sometime tomorrow, so he hasn't gotten back to me by now. It is what it is.
right,
So I'm
right.
very disappointed because I was really hoping, by some miracle, by some work of Jah, he would be like, "Yeah, that's cool." So I'd be able to meet with him, pick his brain a little bit, because obviously I do anything I do anything for some Pokemon cards. I do anything in the in the broadcast field, but and everybody that knows me knows Oklahoma City Thunder is my favorite team. So I'm obviously more than anybody as an industry professional, I'd love to pick his brain and see, how life is working so close with the NBA team, being at practices,
Yeah,
being there post and pregame,
right.
being on the court.
Yeah, and that
So
would
it's really
definitely be exclusive seeing that St. Louis ain't got no NBA team, so you're not gonna get an interview like that in St. Louis. So yeah, that would have been dope.
yeah, man.
But people be uppity and he's probably a busy guy, so I
Man, just be
guess
on Instagram all day. You
you should
done
you
know.
should have hit him up on Instagram, did you? Or you just
I've
emailed him?
DM I've DM'd him before, but he said something before on one of his stories, like if you like want to talk to him about business or like ask him some questions, he just prefer that you email him just to be a little more professional, than just doing DMs with people.
Right.
And I'm like, my dude, how you gonna
Well, I mean,
tell people?
what I would do is I would email him again. Um, and then hell, I mean, you might as well just go DM him. Sorry, say that you emailed him a couple times and he didn't respond. So go
I'm gonna
email him.
spam his comments tonight. I'm gonna spam his comments. I'm gonna DM him, man. I'm gonna add him on LinkedIn and be like, yo, you're
That ain't gonna work.
my
Don't spam him.
email. Check my email, son. Uh, yeah. So anyway, I'm out here trying to make money moves, trying to set up big interviews with big names. Uh, on the TV station already. Got my own show. Be on the news next semester. I'm on the radio right now. Might be on the radio again next semester. So we out here trying to make money moves, Josh. Shout out to
Yeah,
you. Also myself, Faithful Black Men of America. Also, young, successful Black Men of America.
yeah, yeah,
Hashtag mogul. You know what I'm saying? We trying to be some moguls out here. So
yeah.
shout out us, bro. Shouts
Right.
out straight to
Yeah. Yep. And as always, it was a great show. Appreciate everybody for joining us. Everybody who checked in, said what's up. Well, nobody said what's up outside my baby, but that's cool.
shouts out Bay.
Hey. But yeah, make sure you follow us. You know, the usual rundown. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter. Follow me at Joshua G Tyler. Um, and follow my boy Rev. I believe at Revro or Rodizzo, something like that. Yeah, you do your own
Rizzo
stuff.
on Twitter, Rebro on Instagram. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just keep track
Yep.
of us, man.
Yep.
Like we mentioned last week, we want to try to get more interactive. So please, if you are listening to this live or listening to it on YouTube video, I'm sure you probably have our contact information because no doubt you are close to one of us. So if you have our numbers or have taken advantage of us giving you our social media platforms, please reach out to us with ideas,
Yep.
suggestions, contributions, anything. We are open to making this the biggest, baddest amateur podcast that we can. So any suggestions are helpful. Any ways to improve are always helpful. And
Yeah.
as always,
Yeah, we appreciate the feedback. Any feedback is good feedback. Whether you killing us, murdering us, I don't really care.
yeah,
But
keep up this.
yeah, make sure you subscribe. Ooh, make sure you subscribe on these Twitch. I think it's a little green button. If you're watching this on your computer, it's a little green button, or it's a little button, a gray button actually that says subscribe. Hit that button. If you have to make an account, just make an account. It's not gonna be hard, not gonna be long. And then I'm uploading this to YouTube. I'm probably just gonna upload it tonight. Might as well. I'm uploading on YouTube tonight. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, and that way, if you subscribe, as soon as I upload this video, say you missed the live stream, as soon as I upload the video, you should get a notification to your phone, or you might get an email that saying that I uploaded a video, and you can just kind of you could watch the video, you can skip through it and skip to the parts that you want to hear. We've